everyone. I'm Susan Huckle, and here's what's happening in LA this week. On a special field trip to the police academy, the LAPD was joined by a group of children whose lives are impacted by cancer. It's a meaningful trip for the kids, but they are also inspiring to the Los Angeles police.
We're at the Los Angeles Police Academy, our Elysian Park facility, and this is the 19th year we've been able to celebrate with the Sunshine Kids, a nonprofit organization that brings kids from around the country to Los Angeles for a week to be able to give them a view of Los Angeles, Disneyland, Universal Studios, and so many other iconic sites here. To a person, we've heard year after year that of all the great things they get to see here, they really enjoy this as much as anything else.
They have for years hosted Sunshine Kids Foundation, Children with Cancer, on this magnificent day that brings so much of the community together to create an impactful day for the kids outside of the hospital walls and allow them to form friendships with each other and also introduce them to the incredible things in the community that law enforcement does.
When I look out and I see all of your faces, I see bravery, I see confidence, pride, and compassion. The inspiration we get from watching people who are going through significant life challenges and are staying positive and are moving forward, are working with their doctors, working with their caregivers and parents to be able to have successful outcomes down the road. And when you put it in perspective and see what others are dealing with, I think that's healthy for all of us to be able to appreciate what we have.
I got to talk to the riders of the police horses, which was really interesting, and he was talking about how they're trained differently. They have a narcotics dog, and that was really interesting about how he's already 7 years old and still doing fine. They have a few robots that they use for safety precautions and a diving unit over here that I'd like to get to at some point.
We've gotten some incredible letters from kids who have participated. And these are kids that have participated years back, and just some of the quotes and the things that they had mentioned about this special day, these few hours, the impact that it made on them moving forward and how they live their life in the future, battling cancer and moving toward adulthood.
It's just an incredible experience. It's for kids who have suffered a lot and had a really hard go of it, and it's a really cool thing to experience and cool thing to help with, because it's a nice way to balance out the hard times.
By being sworn in, hopefully they feel a part of the Los Angeles Police Department. It's an honor to be able to have the young people who are members of the Sunshine organization as part of that.
It's a really, really noble cause, and it's cool that they care too, because there's a lot of people who couldn't and wouldn't, and they do. So it's awesome to have that.
Tree trimming or sidewalk repairs, these local concerns can often feel sidelined in a big city. At a recent Public Works town hall, Angelenos brought their queries, questions, and yes, even complaints straight to the bureaus involved.
The Board of Public Works and the Department of Public Works are here at Augustus Hawkins High School, located in Council District 9, for our Public Works Town Hall with Councilmember Kern Price.
Having Kern D. Price, our council member, in front of us for him to hear our concerns, our complaints is very important.
We hear from all of our residents issues related to our lights, our sidewalks, streets, trees, everything that encompasses infrastructure. And we have all of our bureaus here in one sitting. So you have a one-stop shop opportunity to get your voices heard and to get many of your answers related to your 311 questions as well.
Good evening, everyone.
So this is the first town hall of this kind here in Council District 9, but with the new Board of Public Works here, at the City of LA. We're going around the city in all 15 council districts to present our ideas and listen to our constituents. And we're so excited to be here at Augustus High School in CD9 to listen to some of the concerns related to public works. And our next one will be in November, hopefully in a neighborhood close to you. So please follow our social media and our website for additional information.
And we are here to serve. And so if you have any questions, problems, or concerns, don't hesitate to contact the council office.
And the next town hall could be your chance to connect with Public Works. There are many barriers to re-entering the workforce after serving a prison sentence. A recent job fair at Los Angeles Mission College was all about knocking down some of those barriers and supporting those seeking a second chance.
So today we are having a second chance job fair for individuals who are justice involved and have been on probation or parole and are looking for that second opportunity back into the workforce.
So currently today my involvement with this program would be I'm here to assist the participants that come in looking for a job. We have more than 15 employers giving job opportunities to individuals who come in looking for employment. We also provide help and resources for people who want to continue or start a trade. They just need to know what they want to start, and we're here to help.
Estos eventos son accesibles para todos. Por ejemplo, este programa es para gente que ha estado involucrado con el sistema legal, pero aunque este programa sea específico para eso, todavía recibimos a cualquier persona que está buscando por servicios, especialmente servicios de empleo. Este lugar es amable, aquí todos estamos para servirle a ustedes. Los invito para que vengan y nos conozcan y que reciban nuestra ayuda, nuestro apoyo.
What we do here is we're trying to empower individuals through the power of work. Some individuals have different types of barriers to employment, and what we do here is we assign them a case manager who will help them with assisting them with their barriers, whether they're experiencing homelessness or their re-entry and they're trying to get some type of expungement or trying to find a program that better suits them. Along with the help of EWDD, we want to make sure that we're able to help them become self-sufficient, help them land a good paying job and then be able to support themselves.
A mayor executive directive will help in LAPD hiring. The Diane Watson Corridor is named for the retired Congresswoman, and a rapid response relief grant from Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez. These stories up next on City Beat.
Mayor Karen Bass has issued an executive directive to accelerate the hiring of more officers for the Los Angeles Police Department. The directive will establish new protocols between the LAPD and the LA City Personnel Department with the aim of completing officer selection within 180 days. The executive directive will also install a new LAPD hiring division within the LA City Personnel Department. Councilmember John Lee, chair of the Public Safety Committee, said the directive will ensure efficiencies in LAPD hiring and aligned with commitments to a safe city. Currently, the LAPD has over 8,000 officers, around 2 officers for every 1,000 Los Angeles residents. For more information, visit mayor.lacity.gov/press. Councilwoman Heather Hutt announced that a portion of Coliseum Place from Victoria Avenue to Crenshaw Boulevard will be co-named as Diane Watson Corridor. Diane Watson is a retired congresswoman whose legacy led to significant advancement in civil rights, health care, education, and humanitarian efforts. Watson was the first African-American woman elected to the California State Senate, and later she represented the 32nd and 33rd California congressional districts. Though retired, Watson continues to advocate on behalf of vulnerable communities, with her next focus being to protect seniors from financial exploitation and fraud. For more information, visit cd10.lacity.gov. Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez announced that she has secured funding to replenish the grant relief program for those impacted by ICE raids in her district. According to Rodriguez, the relief program is for individuals and families she represents who have faced financial hardship due to current immigration activity. The Council District 7 Rapid Response Grant will help those who meet the eligibility requirements with a one-time payment of $250 for individuals and $500 for families. The grants will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis for as long as funds allow. For more information, visit the social media links at cd7.lacity.gov.
Since LA's inception, multiple cultures have been intertwined with the city. Councilmember Eunices Hernandez led this year's city celebrations of El Grito and Mexican independence, addressing the current challenges and meeting the moment with joy.
The people of Los Angeles, El Grito is something that it's been celebrated all over the city all my life. Years ago, it got brought to City Hall, and it's one of our biggest celebrations of the year.
Events like this just really underscore the opportunity to come together and the importance of coming together as a community. We know we have to work together, otherwise we're going to all fall together.
Los Angeles is the home of the largest concentration of people of Mexican origin outside Mexico City. I am honored to be the Consul General of Mexico in Los Angeles and to come and celebrate our independence, our pride in our identity, our culture.
Today, for the city of Los Angeles, I think it's so fitting that one of our toughest Mexican Americans on the council, Eunices Hernandez, is running El Grito this year, a year where there's so much fear, so much uncertainty, and so much creative thinking related to how we protect our community nowadays. But today was supposed to be a day of celebration, a day of happiness, and we're making that happen. The diversity of our city is seen in the folks that are here, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. Much congratulations to Council District 1, Eunices Hernandez.
We've had over 12 weeks of federal immigration raids on our city, and we wanted to show today especially what it looks like to resist, and that is through joy, through culture, through food, through being in community. That's what's gonna refill our batteries so that we can continue this fight to protect our communities here in Los Angeles.
¡Viva México! ¡Viva!
El himno nacional en posición de firmes.
Viva la Resistencia, which is, long live the resistance. It has a new meaning now. It's stronger than ever that we reinforce that belief.
I think it's a really beautiful event, especially to have in the time right now. I know that a lot of people were scared to come, but I wanted to show that, I can be here and represent the people who may not have the ability to have come. And so, yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to show up and that they had such beautiful music, such beautiful food, and the people were really amazing.
I think that's wonderful because I really like those colors. I like the energy here. It's so positive and so even despite I'm from another country, I don't speak Spanish, but I feel so cozy like at home. I just was walking around, I heard some music, I thought I have to check it. So here I am, and I'm glad that it's happened like this.
We should keep fighting for our rights because we made a difference in Los Angeles, the Mexican community, because we're here to stay and we're going to continue making and building and making Los Angeles beautiful.
I'm really proud that as a city, we're continuing to show up our community, even with moments of celebration, because this is what they're trying to erase and stop us from doing. They're trying to prevent us from being authentically who we are. And this event, with everyone that's turned out, is a reflection that we are in fact here and we will stay here.
Imagine celebrating in 2 languages. That's the joy of the Los Angeles Libros Festival held at the Central Library. This family celebration of bilingualism puts pride at the heart of Latino heritage.
The Los Angeles Libros Festival is a fabulous festival for the whole family. It's a celebration of bilingualism for all Angelinos, where we redream and celebrate en dos idiomas.
It's so important to celebrate languages, to be able to share music and community in English y en español, because esta ciudad, not only this city, but this country, is bilingual, bicultural, and that's what we bring. Adios, amigas, que estén bien. We want to make children feel excited about learning a language and feel proud of their heritage.
This is very important because this is also a celebration of Latino culture and the Spanish language. With almost half of Angelinos being Spanish speakers, we think it's very important to celebrate both English and Spanish for those of us who are bilingual and for those of us who want to be bilingual.
Even just a few words in somebody else's languages creates connection. That's why not only do we speak English and Spanish, but we've been learning other languages like American Sign Language. And with one finger on each hand, we sign friend. This is the sign for friend in ASL.
So I came for the Libros event. I was really excited to see what's been going on and discover new books, as well as connect with the community. I came all the way from Santa Clarita because I really wanted to see Silvia Moreno Garcia speak.
It's a free event. It's a great crowd, and it's a bilingual event, so I get to speak in Spanish and English, which I don't get to do a lot in Canada.
Hola. Hola. Hola.
Esta es una celebración del idioma español y del bilingüismo, porque a veces los niños tienen una época que no les gusta hablar español, pero aquí celebramos el español, celebramos la familia, celebramos nuestra cultura y es un lugar para todos, porque la biblioteca es para todos. Y por eso los vemos aquí en el Los Angeles Libros Festival, where we redream and celebrate en dos idiomas.
I would like to invite everybody to visit your local library and get a library card. It's easy, it's fun, and there are a lot of books, both in English and Spanish, audio, digital, and physical formats.
A summer celebration in Herman Park where Councilmember Isabel Jurado hosted community members. Together, they acknowledged how different the summer has been, while emphasizing continuity and solidarity in simple celebrations.
This end of summer celebration here in Herman Park in Council District 14 is so important for our communities. You know, our 4th of July events were postponed in part due to the ice raids, and this was a symbol of us getting together, showing that we're going to stay strong and be brave in light of all that's still happening in our communities, and really a coming together for CD14.
This area is so important to me because I grew up here. I am a Angelino true and true. My entire family has grown up here since we were little kids, and it means so much to see the different amazing parks and everything that goes on in them. And we, myself, my family, we've been coming to not only this park, but all the parks within the Council District of 14. And this is home to us. You know, if it wasn't for programs like this, we wouldn't have been exposed to so much music and community that now makes me personally want to give back.
So Create Now is an art-based nonprofit. What we do is provide free art programming for underserved youth all throughout LA County. We've been doing this for almost 30 years now. And today we're out here with our biggest mural board that we've ever done before, allowing kids to paint on it and to see our new mascot characters that we're developing, on top of giving away Squishmallows. All the kids love Squishmallows and they love what we're doing. You like painting?
I'm here singing with Pacific Opera Project, and it's very important for people to come out and support their local government and take part in the free events. It's a time where you get to see locally what artists are doing, such as opera companies or small businesses, and it has been a joy to come out here and sing for the community today.
I fully encourage, all these events that are going on. I think it brings us together. It brings different communities together. It makes us more stronger. You can tell that a lot of this community, we care about each other. We all facing the similar problems and issues, and the more that we can do for our most vulnerable people in our community is even better. That includes a lot of small businesses that, are facing outrageous rent increases, besides the fact that sales are slow with the current ICE rates. So I took this as an opportunity to promote my store and to have a couple of sales and also give out some free items for the community.
It is so important for you to join us here this year, next year, and the years to come with your family, because this is part of the community, and this was not only what drives the artists, but brings us closer together. We are so excited to share this experience with you, and we hope that next year you come on by.
LA City's Department of Cultural Affairs encompasses a diverse portfolio of landmarks, and none can claim to be as unique as the Watts Towers. These folk art structures were built from almost nothing, from scraps, but they now mark a place for the community, arts education, and excellence.
It's very hard to describe the Watts Towers. It's just a major piece of folk art. It has colors and glass and shells and rocks and all recycled before it was vogue to recycle. I was out doing a tour one day and we had some of the elder ladies on there. Oh, that's my plate, that's my cup. It's wonderful to see them go through and show that ownership.
The history of the Watts Towers is over 100 years old. Simon Rodriguez started building these towers in the early 20s. And over a course of 33 years, the towers went up. And from there, this grassroots effort in providing arts education grew.
Classes were started in 1961. Lucille Krasny taught the first classes on the burned out foundation of Simon Rodriguez's house. The Watts Towers Art Center, we're now 64 years old. We're now 64 years old.
In 1970, they were able to build this art center that we're in now. In 1975, the city of Los Angeles took over.
The Watts Towers complements all of the artistic people that come from Watts. More artists come from this area than any other place in Los Angeles. And we can say that we have access to master artists here. We have access to master musicians to teach our young people here. One of our mottos is we don't do mediocre because we don't have to. That's why the City of Los Angeles Department of Cultural Affairs invests so much in this campus, because it provides art and museum education for this community that it could not get if we were not here. Our community can't afford to pay for piano classes or music classes or voice classes or art classes. They can't afford that. We provide museum and art education for our community when they can't get to LACMA, when they can't get to MoCA, but they can come to the Watts Towers Art Center campus to get fine arts.
It really represents the city on so many levels. It's called Nuestro Pueblo. Simon Rodriguez called it Nuestro Pueblo, which is in Spanish is our town, our people, our community.
Our community has been very, very involved from the inception, which is a phenomenal thing. It shows what you can do with nothing, and our community does a lot with nothing sometimes, but we're resilient. We're still here. We're not going anywhere. You can't get rid of us.
In this week's Things to Do, art in the heart of the valley at the Reseda Rising Art Walk. Celebrate 50 years of Jaws with a screening and party. And head to El Pueblo for the Muertos Art Walk. All this up next on Things to Do.
Join the Department of Cultural Affairs for Councilmember Bob Blumenfield's Reseda Rising Art Walk 2025. Head to Sherman Way in Lindley for this all-ages celebration in the heart of the West Valley. Enjoy a wide variety of artwork on display, from projections and installations to costumed figure drawing, live painting, and an aerosol station. Local artists will be presenting their work for the community to appreciate. Enjoy dance and DJ battles as well as music performances. Support local artists and organizations, food trucks, and street vendors. Experience all this year's Reseda Rising Art Walk has to offer on Saturday, October 4th from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. For more information, visit ResedaArtWalk.com. Jaws! Just hearing the name brings the iconic music to mind. Now imagine watching the movie from the water. Celebrate the 50th anniversary of Jaws at a movie night and beach party at the Hansen Dam Aquatic Center. Join Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez at this free movie screening on Saturday, October 4th, where there will also be food trucks, kids' activities, and more. Dip your toe in the water for Jaws movie night and beach party on Saturday, October 4th. Doors open at 3 p.m. and the movie screening begins at sunset. For more information, visit cd7.lacity.gov. Join El Pueblo Historical Monument and the Olvera Street Merchants Association Foundation for the annual Muertos Art Walk. This event showcases the work of over 30 local artists in the run-up to the cultural celebrations for Dia de los Muertos. Enjoy original artwork, jewelry, accessories, clothing, and more at vendor stalls in El Pueblo, the birthplace of Los Angeles. Join in the celebrations at this family-friendly event, which will also feature live music and performances. Head to the historical heart of LA for Muertos Art Walk on Saturday, October 4th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. For more details, check out olveraevents.com. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's all for this week. I'm Susan Huckle, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. Remember that you can watch us online anytime at lacityview.org. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.
You're arriving at Los Angeles International Airport in beautiful Southern California. One of the first things you will see as you are landing is the ever-iconic LAX theme building. The LAX theme building is a modern icon and recognized worldwide as the space-age landmark of one of the world's youngest and most influential cities. Designed by architectural firm Piera & Luckman, the building was completed in 1961 and features an observation deck and the Bob Hope USO. The spider-like appearance of the building is a playful and futuristic design illusion created by topping 4 steel reinforced concrete legs with stucco. The building received cultural historic status from the City of Los Angeles for its distinguishing characteristics, which are valuable to the study of that period's style and method of construction. It is also an example of mid-century modern Googie architecture. The LAX theme building serves as the symbolic gateway to Los Angeles, and the futuristic design is intended to convey new prosperity and the embrace of technological innovation. It has been and continues to be a constant reminder of Los Angeles' drive to be the city of tomorrow.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another meeting of the Los Angeles City Council. Today is Tuesday, September 30th. I am not Marquise Harris-Dawson, I'm Nithya Raman. And public comment will be taken in person in the council chamber only for today's meeting. Can we please have quiet in the chambers? Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Madam President. Blumenfeld, Harris-Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Jurado, Lee, McOsker, Nazarian, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky. 12 members present and a quorum, Mr. President. Madam
Great.
President.
What's our first order of business?
Approval of the minutes of September 26, 2025.
Okay, great. Councilmember Price moves, Councilmember Hernandez seconds. What's next?
Combinatory resolutions for approval.
Great. Councilmember Rodriguez moves, Councilmember Soto Martinez seconds. What is next?
Madam President, today is Tuesday and it's time for the flag salute.
Wonderful. Would everyone please rise for the flag salute? And Councilmember Park, would you please lead us today?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Please stand if you're able. Hand over your heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Mr. Clerk, let's run through today's agenda.
Yes, Madam President. No action is required for item 1 inasmuch as the item is for a public hearing only. Items 1 and 2 are items noticed for public hearing. Items 3 through 28 are items for which public hearings have been held. Items 29 through 47 are items for which public hearings have not been held. Item 48 is a closed session item considered by the Public Works Committee. Items 49 through 56 are closed session items considered by the Budget and Finance Committee. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Great. Without objection, those items are now before us. Do members have items that they want to call special today? Let's see. Okay, Councilmember Rodriguez.
Item 10 for a separate vote.
Item 10, okay. Councilmember Park.
28 for an amendment. It has been submitted.
Okay, 28 for an amendment that will be circulated. Councilmember Price.
Out of abundance of caution, Madam President, I'm accusing myself from item 10 because my wife's employer has worked with one of the organizations listed in the past. I'm also recusing myself from item 45 because I'm a landlord.
Sorry, Mr. Price, was that items 10 and 45?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Councilmember Jurado. Oh, are you waiting?
Thank you, Madam President. I have an amendment for item 36 that should be circulating. I'd also like to call item 27 special for comments.
Okay. Item 36 and 27 for comments. Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Thank you. I'd like to call 47 for a separate vote, please.
Sorry, can you repeat that item number again?
47.
47, okay. Okay, Councilmember Hutt.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd like to call, Madam Clerk, Madam Chair.
Not the
sorry.
clerk.
Sorry. I'd like to call item 33 special for an amendment. I believe that's being circulated. Right?
Item 33, Councilmember?
That's right.
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
Great. Any other specials? And I would also like to hold 27 for brief comments before we vote on it. Okay. So, Mr. Clerk, what can we vote on, or what's next?
Madam President, the council may now vote on items 3 through 9, 11 through 26, 29 through 32, 34, 35, excuse me. I will reiterate, items 3 through 9, 11 through 26.
3 through 9 and 11 through 26 are available for us to vote on?
That is correct, Madam President.
Oh, Councilmember Yaroslavsky, go ahead.
Sorry about this, but can I call 5 with an amending motion?
So you want to hold 5 for an
Hold
amendment
5 for
that
an
you'll be
amending
circulating?
motion. Yes.
Okay, great. So, Mr. Clerk, what is now available to vote on?
Yes, Madam President. The council may now vote on items 3, 4, 6 through 9, 11 through 26.
Okay, 3, 4, 6 through 9, and 11 through 26. Mr. Clerk, please open the roll on those items. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, so now let's move on to item 48, which is a closed session item that I believe was considered by the Public Works Committee. Councilmember Hernandez, do you have any guidance for us on this item?
Yes, Council President. The Public Works Committee considered this item in closed session. I recommend that we approve the City Attorney's recommendations.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, can you please read the settlement and the Public Works Committee
Yes, Madam President.
recommendations for item 48?
For item 48, in the case entitled Citizens for a Better Los Angeles versus City of Los Angeles, there is a recommendation to approve recommendation number 1 contained in the confidential City Attorney Report number R25-0423.
Okay, so unless there's any speakers on this item, let's open the roll for item 48. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Okay. Let's move on to closed session items 49 through 56, which have, I believe, already been considered by the Budget and Finance Committee, but I'll turn to Councilmember Yaroslavsky, who's our Budget and Finance Committee Chair, for guidance. Councilmember? Items 49 through 56.
Thank you. Budget and Finance Committee considered and approved items 49 through 56 in committee on September 16th, and I recommend we approve these items.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, can you please read the settlement items for these items 49 through 56?
Yes, Madam President. For item 49, in the case relative to Hazelwood Patients Collective, there's a recommendation to approve the payment to the city in the amount of $498,665.46, inclusive of interest, to effectuate settlement. For item 50, in the case relative to ACOM Technical Services Incorporated, there is a recommendation to refund the overpayment of business taxes of $105,691.92 plus accrued interest. For item 51, in the case entitled Sylvia Elizabeth Hornquist versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $725,000 in settlement. For item 52, in the case entitled Inez Cabezas versus City of Los Angeles et al., there's a recommendation to expend up to $125,000 in settlement. For item 53, in the case entitled Martha Romero versus City of Los Angeles et al., there's a recommendation to expend up to $175,000 in settlement. For item 54, in the case entitled Alexandra Gutierrez et al. Versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $195,000 in settlement. For item 55, in the case entitled Sylvia Perez versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $235,000 in settlement. And for item 56, in the case entitled Sylvia Ann Melton versus County of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $250,000 in settlement.
Okay. Provided there's no additional comments, Mr. Clerk, can you please open the roll on these items? Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Okay, what's next?
The council may now move on to public comment.
Okay, great. Thank you, members. We are now going to move on to public comment on agenda items that are noticed for public hearing and any items for which public hearings have not already been held. Public comment is going to be taken in person in the council chambers only. Mr. City Attorney, can you please explain the rules to members of the public who are in the chamber today who are wishing to speak?
Yes, give me just one moment, please. Okay. To people providing public comment, when it's your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak to. You will have 1 minute per item, up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment. We will tell you when your time is up. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the council president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, If you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public comment on the agenda are items 1 and 2, and items 29 through 47. So again, the items open for public comment on the agenda are items 1 and 2, and items 29 through 47. Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general public comment, members of the public may speak to any of the items or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. A couple more announcements, if I could have the interpreters make this first one aloud to the room, please. If you require a Spanish language interpreter, please make sure to pause every few sentences so the interpreters can interpret.
Si requieren un intérprete para español, por favor asegúrense de pausar después de cada frase para darle al intérprete la oportunidad a traducir.
Don't worry, we will pause your time while the interpreters are interpreting, so you will get the same amount of time as everyone else. Thank you.
Y no se preocupen, les pausaremos el tiempo mientras el intérprete está hablando, entonces recibirán la misma cantidad de tiempo que las otras personas. Gracias.
Finally, in order to help us run an efficient public comment period, please make sure to wait until you hear the name that you signed up under called aloud before lining up. The order in which they are called is at random, that is to say it is randomly generated. So once you hear the name that you signed up under called aloud, you can line up in any order on your left-hand side of the council chambers. Thank you.
I will begin by calling the following names: Siba, Teresa, BBC Duarte, Delmira Gonzalez, and Mary Dana.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'll speak on all items in general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
All the items on this agenda, like 1 and 2, are just these clowns going through the motion and pretending they are doing something when they are only sitting there collecting their $25,000 per month salaries and creating even more homelessness by their incompetence. Item number 1 should be taken off the agenda because it does not solve any city problems. For example, it is a proposed adjustment to the sanitation department. How is this item number 1 by incompetent and corrupt Marquise Dawson and the rest of the clowns going to solve the city's problems, like the tens of thousands of homeless? Item number 1 should be taken off the agenda. It should receive a no vote if indicted embezzling criminal current price is allowed to vote. Indicted criminals out on bail and on trial for voting on his wife's business with the city should not be allowed to vote. Item 2 is just a worthless and it's for a liquor license. This item should be removed off the agenda of these incompetent clowns. These clowns have absolutely no idea how to increase the commerce and thereby the prosperity and jobs of the city. So they put alcohol licenses on the agenda. Marquise Dawson is incompetent and corrupt. I formally protest this item being on the agenda with tens of thousands of homeless in the city, and it's officially broke. I also formally protest the illegal September 26th meeting in Van Nuys and demand all items voted on to be immediately reversed. General public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
Okay. Public, when you hire clowns, you get a circus. With all the massive city problems, this is how these clowns have run the city into the ground by just sitting there collecting their $20,000 to $30,000 per month salary. $1 billion budget emergency by giving $1 billion increase to LAPD last year. Tens of thousands of homeless epidemic emergencies, $275 billion fire damage emergency, and Sleazy D and the rest of these clowns they're giving stupid presentations with nothing on the agenda. No plan at all. Nothing. The circus of incompetence is unbelievable. Sleazy Marquise Dawson, CD8, has the highest incarceration rate, the highest homeless rate, the highest unemployment rate in the entire United States, over 12.5%. CD8 is a near complete food desert. Sleazy D has spent over $10 million on luxury offices. Okay, I'm done.
Before the next speaker begins, I would like to call up Hadi Katie, Diddy Netanyahu, Julian Zuniga, Herman Mendigo, and Ana Hernandez.
Good morning.
Sí, buenos días a todos. Mi nombre es Delmira González y quiero un intérprete en español, por favor.
Okay. And which items would you like to speak to?
Sí, ¿sobre cuáles temas quiere hablar?
De los aumentos de los utensilios que van a hacer en la ciudad.
I want to speak about the raise in utilities in the city.
No sé qué número es.
I don't know what number it is.
I believe it's number 1. So you have 1 minute for item number 1. Go ahead.
Un minuto.
Ok. Mi comentario es de que nosotros estamos aquí para hablar. Yo soy de Proyecto Pastoral y estoy aquí para hablar de este problema porque nosotros somos personas mayores y para que den ese aumento en los utensilios.
Yes, I'm here to speak because I'm from Project Pastoral, and us older people are struggling with the increases in prices.
No estamos de acuerdo porque somos personas mayores y ya recibimos el seguro social. Entonces es una tarifa que siempre están dando y pues es como poner una familia en la calle.
And we are not in agreement with it because as we are receiving Social Security, it's like this is an extra tariff. And honestly, we're just basically at risk of just being out on the street.
Y yo estoy aquí para decirles que analicen bien porque no queremos más familias en las calles porque ahorita tenemos demasiadas familias y todavía más. Entonces analicen bien este problema porque a muchas familias nos afecta. Gracias.
And I am telling you this, please analyze this problem well because we do not want any more families out on the streets. There are already plenty of families that are now homeless. So please analyze this well, do your job well. Thank you.
Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Thank you very much, Attorney Smoking Scan. Let's start with item number 31. 如果你不爱我，就把我的心还我。你用爱换走青春，我还留下什么？如果你还爱我，就什么话都别说，就跟我一路狂奔，就不要想太多。痴情不是罪过的，忘情不是洒脱。为你想到撕心裂肺，有什么结果？你说到底为什么？都是我的错的，都把爱情想得太美，现实太诱惑。到底为什么？这让你更难过的，这样爱你，除了安慰还能怎么做？寂寞，寂寞是谁的错？寂寞让你那么脆弱，我们不要继续再这么沉默。这段感情应当要保持联络。我不想不问是什么星座，这个时代为什么那么多的迷惑？寂寞，寂寞就变得冷漠，这样下去我们之间还能有什么？没错，是我那么多的冷漠，让你感觉到无比的失落。不过，一个女人的心不仅仅渴望得到的一个承诺，我害怕欺骗，也害怕寂寞，更害怕我的心会渐渐的掉落。Item number 32， 爱情不是随便许诺。好了，不想再说了。Let's go, homie。有什么样的情，有什么样的爱，用什么样的爱还什么样的债。我知道你的心里有些想不开，可是我的心里永远的全是爱。你回头看看我，不要再沉默。你说到底你想追求个什么结果？我知道你在躲，你为什么不说？你情愿让这样的思念把我淹没，出卖我的爱的，逼着我离开的，最后知道真相的我眼泪也掉下来，出卖我的爱。你背了良心债，但就算再多付出感情再买不回来。当初是你要分开，分开就分开，现在又要用真爱的把我哄回来。但爱情不是你想买，想买就能卖的，让我睁开，让我明白，放手你的爱，出卖你的爱的，背着你离开，看到痛苦的你，我的眼泪也掉下来，出卖你的爱，我背了良心债，就算付出再多感情再买不回来。当初是我要分开，后来才明白，现在要我的钟爱把你哄回来。我明白是我错了的，爱情像你说的，它不是买卖，就算千金来买都不卖。Now let's move on to item number 33. Item number 33. Dana， 你不知道我到底多爱你。Dana， 你可不可以和我在一起 ？Dana， 你一直藏在我心里。Dana， 你不知道。Dana， 不知道。Dana， 你每次呼吸是我的动力。Dana， 没有你我根本无法呼吸。Dana， 你的双眼深深地迷着我。Dana， 你不知道。Dana， 不知道。Dana， 我来到美国就是为了你。Dana， 我真的很想和你在一起。Dana， 你一举一动竟让我着迷。Dana， 你不知道。Dana， 不知道。That's what makes you beautiful. Now, let's move on to general public comment. Yes. Right now, I am aware that our city is in a budget crisis, city attorney, but however, we are $800 million in deficit, but you are continue to purchasing special LA Convention Center project. Right now, we are losing so much money, and our city attorney continue to offering special services for illegal criminals, and we are losing so much money, and our city attorney continue to refuse, continue to lay off LA city worker, continue to firing people, and we are in a huge budget deficit, but our crime has been skyrocketed, and our city attorney still not doing anything. What's the solution for that? We can make sure that Mr. Spindler elected for the city one, including every single smoking scam member, elect Spindler, Council District 1, 2026. Let's go, Spindler!
And before the next speaker comes up and begins, for people who are just tuning in, I see a lot of new faces. That you are not watching The Voice or America's Got Talent. People express themselves in many different ways. I promise you that it can get much worse than that. To the last speaker, just again, we'll make the offer. If you would like a foreign language interpreter, if you let us know roughly 48 hours in advance, we will do our best to get that for you. Mr. Herman, you are up, as discussed earlier. There's no reason for you to bring all of your items up. Do not disrupt or delay this meeting. This is your first and only formal warning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Wow. No prior impermissible verdict here? Well, let's read into the verdict here, Smoke and Scan. Why, during our great Bureau of Sanitation people here, who should be given a raise effectively, immediately as I speak, because they got a lot of shit and trash to pick up in our streets. Right? And without the process of getting their ass to work, it does no good or justice in this system at a time when we're looking to cut off jobs, save the deficit, and create a budget that we can't control. So you decide what we do for the great men and women who pick up your shit and trash and bulky items, big head. Now, item number 2, asshole. Bar license number 317-217 for the record. I'm talking, hey, Korean boy, I'm talking. Now.
Got to stay on topic, Mr. Herman.
That's right, Sambo, I am. Relative to the fucking application for the fucking determination of public convenience, I find no necessity for more indulgence in the fucking alcohol that can create inability to work, inability to fuck, inability to do what the fuck you're supposed to do as a citizen of the United States of America, and that is to control your fucking drinking habit. Did you know that drinking is a drug? Did you know that drinking can cause you to have A big head with a dot on your face like you, Korean boy?
And you've exhausted your 1 minute on item number 2. Please move on to another item.
Well, I haven't finished on the alcohol sales and beverages for the off-site consumption.
You've concluded your
Already.
time on that item. This is your
All right,
first
Uncle
warning.
Tom. All right, what number you want me to be on? How about the Olympics on 28, Uncle Tom? Yeah, the Olympics.
Sorry, you
the
said item 28. Item
Paralympics.
number 28 is not open for public comment. You've been warned multiple times. This is your last warning. Stick to the items that are open for public comment, or I'm going to move you to general public
All
comment.
right, well, Smoking Scan said I should be like on item 34 or 35. Let's see, is he right?
Those are fine.
Smoking Scan, those are fine. I got so much fucking time on my mind. Matter of fact, 34, motion by Fat Hernandez and Jawardo. Fuck you in CD 14. Clean up your act. Now into my non-agenda public comment.
1 minute.
Prior impermissible restraints means that I cannot say fuck. Prior impermissible restraint means that you, I, and the public behind me can't say fuck you too. But according to Cohen versus California, vulgarity is one man's
I won't interrupt.
and it is another man's lyric. Now, what do I mean by that, big head attorney? Bar license 317-217. It means that, yes, Bagdasarian versus United States, Whitney versus California, and the United States Supreme Court under 42 U.S.C. 1983 grants me that privilege as the first motherfucker, badass nigga to say fuck you.
Mr. Clerk, please pause the speaker's time. Speaker, you have used the N-word, which is a violation of Council Rule 7. This is your only warning, and any use of this word in any of its variations is described in Rule 7. May not be used in this council meeting again by you or any other member that wishes to speak. Any future council member or any future council committee meeting, if you violate this rule again, you will forfeit your speaking time, and you could be subject to removal pursuant to Council Rules 7 and 12. Mr. Clerk, please, for the record, make a note that Mr. Herman is a habitual violator of this rule and has had several warnings across several meetings, including a handful of dismissals.
Right on.
Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
So today is the biggest fuck in the ass of everything we've ever seen in life. The KKK, KDR, Slavsky, John Grant increases in the trash fees. Now, you see, under the law, you can only fucking have fees where it is enough to use the service. But what KKK, Katie, and the rest of these criminals here in this place did is they tripled the trash fees. So starting October the 1st, you're going to get your bill. It ain't going to say $78. It's going to say $380 fucking dollars. That's right. And they're raising the motherfucking money because the city's bankrupt, because they can't stop fucking talking and not paying attention to public comment, Buckethead. So now we get to the Olympics. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Sorry, which
You're
item
bankrupt.
are you speaking to?
You're fucking bankrupt. See, now what you're going to do is you're going to put bonds without a vote of the voters. $130 million a year for the next 30 fucking years. Alone in the interest payments, not including the overrun charges, because if there's overruns, you have to increase the authorization by MECLA to sell more bonds. Now, if Buckethead over there would have waited till January, the Fed is going to reduce interest rates 2 more times. It would have saved the city how much, Buckethead? $99.4 million in 10 years. But he don't give a fucking shit. It's not his money.
So you've
He ain't gonna
exhausted your
live
1
that
minute on
long.
item 47.
He ain't
Please
gonna
move
live
on
that
to
long
another
anyway.
item,
You're going to have a heart
or you can
attack
move on to
all
general
this
public
day.
comment.
Now, you get to the liquor license by Bob Blobenbleld. In honor of Yom Kippur, he takes off his yarmulke and stuffs the cash underneath his little tiny hat. And he says, I want 5960 Canoga Avenue to sell more liquor so you can beat more bitches. Because you see, you got to get drunk. You think I got coffee in here, motherfucker? And so I get a cutting up of this shit. I slap any bitch in front of me, fool. That's right. Why don't I have a TRO? Because when you have a problem with the TRO, contact Jacoby and Myers. Jacoby and Myers for all your
So
legal
there's
needs.
nothing
It's
to
about
do with the
bucket
agenda
time.
items. You have 1 minute for general public
Now,
comment.
Let's get to that fat little Arlita Parrot bitch over there, Imelda Louisa Padilla, that can't even show up to her own fucking meeting Friday after a goddamn week of vacation. Down 200 fucking feet from her office, we met on Friday. And she drug Marchese, a known black man, all the way out of South Central to risk his life to drive into Van Nuys past all the gangs just so he could hold a meeting. And you know what happened? He ran his little ass out to his car and he said, I gotta get out of here. I'm in the ghetto. That's right, fool. So you see, Imelda don't show up to her own goddamn meeting. And then, of course, Kern Price showed up because I had to congratulate him on his 12 felony charges. Let's give him a hand. And then finally, everybody, you have Board of Public Works Commissioner, Mr. Grant, and Mr. Grant will testify to you. Finally, you have a good day, niggas and cunts.
Before the next speaker begins, I would like to call up
I'm sorry, can you
Fatima
hold,
Begum.
sorry, before you roll, Mr. Spindler, this is your first and only formal warning. Do not disrupt this meeting by yelling out. The staff are trying to read out names so we can continue with public comment. If you do it again, you'll be subject to removal. I'm sorry, can you start reading those names over again? Apologies.
Yes, thank you. So before the next speaker begins, I would like to call up Fatima Begum, Julian Markowitz, Lorna Paisley, Smoking Scan, and Damon Henyard.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Buenos días a todos, señores concejales. Mi nombre es Ana Hernández. Quiero hablar acerca del tema número 1 y comentario público.
Okay, so you have,
Permíteme, por favor, tiene un minuto para cada uno de esos.
you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Un minuto para el artículo y tiene un minuto para comentario general público, si me permite. Good day, members of the council. My name is Ana Hernandez, and I would like to talk about article number 1 and also general public comment. Continúe.
Bueno, la razón que yo estoy aquí, yo soy residente de vivienda pública, la más grande que está aquí en Los Ángeles. Y la razón que estamos bastante preocupados, los residentes que ahí habitamos, porque muchos de estos residentes somos personas mayores, personas que están discapacitadas.
Gracias. So the reason I am here is because I am a resident of public housing, one of the largest, and we are here because we are frankly worried. A lot of us are senior citizens, a lot of us are people with disabilities. Continúe.
Y también personas que necesitan aparatos especiales porque están enfermos de los pulmones y todas estas máquinas necesitan de electricidad y otros gastos que se requieren. Entonces, las personas que ahí vivimos de un ingreso muy bajo al resto de la población.
Gracias. And not only that, but also people who need devices. People who need devices for breathing, need to be hooked up onto special machines, so we need electricity, and there are other expenses that we need to pay for. And we are people who are very low income compared to the rest of the population. Continúe, por favor.
Este tema es sumamente delicado para todos nosotros porque es algo que es muy esencial para la vida de los residentes.
This is a subject that's very delicate because it's something that's essential for the life of all of these residents. Continúe.
Entonces, este aumento de tarifa del gas
General.
es bastante para nosotros, para los ingresos que nosotros tenemos. Tenemos que pagar la basura, tenemos que pagar aseguranza si hay alguna otra cosa que se tiene que darle mantenimiento.
And so this increase on gas is too much for us. We have other things to pay for. We have to pay for trash. We have to pay for insurance just in case there's anything that needs to be maintained. Continúe, por favor.
El salario y los gastos no van de acuerdo a este aumento de basura y de electricidad.
What we make, it doesn't match our expenses or this increase in electricity and waste management. Continúe.
Entonces ustedes, yo personalmente les pido y a nombre de los residentes de vivienda pública que por favor tomen el asunto en sus manos y que puedan llegar a un acuerdo para no aumento de estas tarifas.
So I ask personally, and I ask on behalf of the residents of public housing, for you guys to come up to a resolution to put a stop to these increases. Thank you. Continúe.
Thank you.
Perdón, es todo. Gracias.
That's all. Thank you.
Good morning. I assume all items and general public comment?
Yes, sir.
So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Just as a reminder to everybody in the room, the items that are currently open for public comment are items 1 and 2 and items 29 through 47. So again, you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead and begin with the items. Thank you.
Okay, but Mr. President, I just want to let you know, like, I have a hard time, and Mr. Attorney, focusing on what to speak on with the agenda items, because Mr. Lee owes me an apology, and he still hasn't done it.
So I'm going to ask that you can speak to that during general, but for the first
Okay,
2
well, I
minutes-
just want to say, so if I get off topic, Smoke and Scan understands, but that's
Okay.
the reason why. Okay.
Please, understood,
All
please
right,
stay on
so
topic
we'll
for
get
the
on-
next
We'll
2
try to
minutes,
get
30
on
seconds.
topic here. Okay, so first of all, I do want to say anything that Mr. Lee is proposing in these available things, I'm going to say vote no, because he owes me an apology. So, Mr. President, until he gives me that apology, vote no on all his items, please. Now the one, on a serious note, the one where you want to put the lights out for human trafficking and child trafficking, I 100% support that. But I'm here to remind you that there's all different kinds of trafficking. There's sex trafficking, there's labor trafficking. And I'm here to mention that the labor trafficking happens, allegedly, I'll say that just for legal clarification, by Scientology, okay? Trafficking children from all different parts of the world, okay, and bringing them here, and then they end up in labor situations, and they end up, many victims have come forward saying that they were trafficked, and they had to do hard labor, and then they were also sexually assaulted because of the lack of protection. So when you are lighting City Hall for the victims of human trafficking, can you please remember that it's still going on under your nose, because this has not stopped. There is still human trafficking going on, and there's still people coming forward about it, and just remember that. I guess I can't talk about all the firefighter stuff, because I'm like, yeah, about time you guys are putting in for the firefighters, because, we should have done this before the big fire, but I know that's off topic. So, like I said, I'm a little distracted. Smoke and Scan gets it, because Mr. Lee owes me an apology. Okay, let's go to the one where, where you're trying to hire an expert. I think that's number 2. And yes, you guys need expert advice up in here. Isn't that the one?
That's items 3 or 5, which are not open for public comment. Item number 2
you
is
closed a
an
lot on
alcohol,
us. Okay.
an application for determination of public convenience or necessity.
I told you I'm off. Okay, so I'm 1 and 2. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll get there. Smoke and Scan will be patient with me. Hopefully you will too. Anyway, okay, number 1. No, you should not be raising any fees on anyone. Not the ambulance fees, not this fees, not any fees. Why do the people get punished for your ineptitude to, hey, how about listening to the CAO? Mr. Zabo sits here all the time saying, no, we don't have the money for this, we don't have the money for that. Do you guys listen? No. So we have to pay for it. Why? Okay.
General public comment?
Public comment. Again, shout out to Smoke and Scan. Thank you for, I love that they're here, that Smoke and Scan's here is watching all this nonsense. Mr. Lee, you still owe me an apology. We're not forgetting you being on vacation for a week. I did not forget. Mr. President, you're not listening. And see, you're setting a bad example, sir. You're setting a bad, you owe me an apology now again. Mr. President, come on.
Okay, so can we
you
pause
were
for time?
leading a good
I'm gonna-
example.
so members
Is
of the
that an
public,
apology?
hold on,
Is that
Speaker,
the
your time
apology?
is paused. So
Okay, all
members
right.
of the, hold on, Speaker, your time is paused. Members of the public, please do not disrupt other people's public comment period. If you want to clap, if you want to boo, please hold that until after the public speaker is finished. I'm sorry, we paused your time. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so bang the gavel so Mr. Lee has to do the right thing. All right, I'm here to talk about the Faith and Blue event coming on October 11th this year, okay? LAPD is joining forces, and I get it, it's a national event. I don't have a problem with the event itself. But you guys are doing it with Scientology this year and Hollywood Division. How many times, how often, I've been here for a year telling you about what's going on and why you should not be in bed with Scientology anymore. So I don't understand why that's going on, especially since victims want to feel safe to come forward. Thank you.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning. I'm talking about item 1.
Item number 1? Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Julian Zuniga. I'm an RCTO with the City of LA. I'm here to express my support for the proposed rate increase. I'm a shop steward representing the workers in sanitation. And I know that these increases are to support not just residential collections, but the full suite of programs, such as the multi-family bulky item pickup, the Christmas tree recycling, the move-in, move-out support, and other work that sanitation workers do. This is an important and necessary raise. Thank you.
Before the next speaker begins, I would like to call up Kirsten Peterson, Paul Morales, Kelly, John Norden, and Maribel.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I want to speak to item number 1.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Lorna Paisley. I live in Lake Balboa. I think the increases on pickup is too high, $20 extra in a month, and then by the 2029, it'll almost be double. Food's going up every day, insurance goes up, healthcare goes up, everything goes up. And then I was on one of the Zoom meetings, and they said, what would be the consequence of not passing the bill? And somebody said, well, then you probably would lose your street cleaning. Well, guess what? I've been here 12 years, and I've seen one street sweeper go by my house, so I don't care. I'll keep cleaning my streets for not having a big increase in pickup. And I think you need to find better ways to help people recycle. I belong to something called Ridwell, and I recycle a lot of goods through them, so it doesn't go into the garbage can. And you should be able to find something too. Be innovative, be creative, find some other way to lower the garbage. And I also am a little skeptical about the price increase because I saw what they did with the homeless money.
Next speaker. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
This is a general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you. And good morning, Council. My name is Julian Markowitz. I'm here today to ask for your assistance and to raise serious concerns about my landlord, Grubb Properties, and their management firm, Avenue 5 Property Management. I'd like to commend my Councilmember Soto Martinez, as his office was the first to respond to a series of letters I wrote to various public officials on this subject. His office dispatched a young staffer, Nicholas, to my building earlier this month. I'm the Tenants Association chairman in my building, and my neighbors and I have experienced endless issues. On September 19th, the Los Angeles Department of Housing cited my building for 3 different violations. Since I started my tenants association, I've been the object of threats and retaliation from my landlord. Of course, I can't share the details of our situation in this forum, but I humbly ask that you take my remarks to heart and follow up with me on this matter. Thank you.
My name is Maribel Gonzalez. I'm asking for Mr. Marquis Harris' attention,
Good morning.
please.
So which
I
items
have
would you like
asked
to
you
speak
many
to?
times. I have presented
Okay.
myself in your
So,
office.
Speaker, all right, 1 minute for general public comment.
Constituent office, and you do not accept your constituents. You don't have public hearing meetings, but yet you want to raise trash. My street smells like pee because you take your money to the west side of Los Angeles, and WAS is like shit. What do you do for our community? Just talk, all of you guys, all you have done is just talk amongst yourselves. You're not hearing the public. Why are you here? Why do you take office? I visited your office, I emailed you, I've spoken to your people, and you are nowhere to be found. More or less, you don't even respond to my issues that I have. No on lifting utilities, trash. It is steal. You want to raise trash 3 times as much. I am talking to you, sir. We pay you. We pay you. We pay all of you. Taxes. You do want to charge us on time, then you have to provide services on time. Homeless.
Speaker, your time has expired. We have to move on to the next speaker. And before we do, we've been very patient, but the woman on the left-hand side of the council chambers near the pillar who was holding up the sign, please do not disrupt the public comment. This is your first and only formal warning. Same with the gentleman who's standing next to you in the black jacket and the black thick-rimmed glasses. Please do not disrupt other people's public comment. Good morning. So which items would you like to speak to?
Item 1.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item. Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Paul Morales. I am here to express my support for the proposed rate increase. As a proud worker for the City of Los Angeles Sanitation Department, I know these fees cover more than just trash. They also pay for services like unlimited bulky pickup, Christmas tree collection, and safe centers for disposal waste. That's it. Thank you.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
General comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
I believe there's only one way to solve persistent problems with the police in this city and elsewhere, and that is to have investigators from the National Guard look into police misconduct. There are basic nuts and bolts reasons why this is true. Fortunately for us, it costs residents nothing for our representatives to ask the governor for this highest level of police oversight. Unfortunately, though, the City Council won't do it, and they won't explain why. If anyone else thinks we're entitled to this highest level of police oversight, please say so. Whether it's obvious or not, police are being threatened and, people are being threatened and worse. And if anyone thinks I'm getting something wrong, please go to my Twitter and educate me. And that's for anyone here or anyone on Smoke and Scan or whatever. It's at MACKERM2. Thank you.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Hi, number 1.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item. Go ahead.
Thank you. I realize our city, state, and country face larger issues than trash increases. However, before the city considers raising rates for the same level of trash and recycling services, I'd like to suggest exploring an additional recycling option that could improve outcomes for Los Angeles residents. It's widely held perception that much of what goes in the blue bins ultimately ends up in landfills. This perception erodes public trust in our system and makes future increased rates harder to justify. I'm asking, instead of asking Angelinos to pay more for the same service, I urge the City Council to partner with the company TerraCycle, TerraCycle.com. TerraCycle specializes in truly hard to recycle materials and already partners with municipalities and corporations across the country. By exploring a partnership, Los Angeles could demonstrate leadership. Thank you, appreciate it, thank you.
All right, that concludes public comment for this morning's meeting. We've exhausted our time for public comment. It's 11:05 this morning. Mr. Clerk, what's before us?
Mr. President, the public hearing for item 1 is now closed. No action is required for this item.
All right, what's next?
The council may now vote on items 2, 29 through 32, 34, 35, 37 through 44, and 46.
All right, let's open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right, this gentleman in the black glasses and black T-shirt, I believe Mr. Grote, he's been warned.
Yes, Mr.
If
President.
not, this is your first warning.
So, Mr. President, he has been warned and is eligible for removal.
All right, he's ordered removed pursuant to Rule 7 and Rule 12.
So, Speaker, public comment has been closed. You were previously warned for disrupting another speaker. You have now been ordered removed from this council chamber for disrupting the proceedings.
Mr. President, for the record, the ordinance for item 46 will be held over to Friday, October 31st, 2025 for second consideration pursuant to Charter Section 1168A.
All right, can we go to item number 47?
Yes, sir. Item 47 was called special by Councilmember Yaroslavsky for a separate vote.
All right, comments, Councilmember? No comment? All right, let's open the roll on this item. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes, 3 noes.
Mr. President, for the record, the ordinances for item 47 will be held over to Tuesday, October 7, 2025 for second consideration due to the lack of a unanimous vote.
All right, what's next?
The council may now consider item 27.
I'm sorry, Mr. Clerk, Councilmember Rodriguez.
I'd also like to be registered as a no vote.
All right.
And for the record, that would be 10 ayes and 4 noes.
All right, what's next?
The council may now consider item 27, called special by Councilmembers Jurado and Rahman for comments.
Councilmember Jurado.
Thank you, Council President.
I'm sorry, Ms. Jurado. Sir, you've been removed pursuant to the council rules. Madam in the black tank top, you've been warned. Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, so, Mr. President, the woman in the black tank top has also been warned and is eligible for removal for continuing to disrupt this meeting. And, Mr. President, would you also like to have the woman in the black tank top removed as well? She has been warned multiple times at this point.
Sir, you're removed. You continue to disrupt the meeting. I don't know if it's possible to have a multi-day suspension, Mr. City Attorney, but this person has certainly earned it. Councilmember Jurado.
Thank you, Council President. Colleagues, I supported this item in committee because we were assured by the CAO that there's meaningful flexibility to revisit and update the bed plan as needed. But I do have serious concerns about how we're defining which beds count, the lack of clarity around La Casa funding eligibility, and the sustainability of the TLS approach. If we're creating time-limited placements without a plan for what happens after 2 years, especially for residents on fixed incomes, we're simply kicking the can down the road. I'll be voting yes today because we have limited time before we have to submit this to the court, but I expect this council to stay vigilant and proactive in holding our partners accountable to long-term equitable outcomes. Thank you.
Councilmember Rahman.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, I wanted to just flag what we are approving today. We are approving a plan to fill the gap in beds for the rest of the Alliance settlement. Essentially, the CAO has proposed that we fill this gap with time-limited subsidies, which is both cost-effective and has excellent outcomes for participants. And this is an approach that I support. And Councilmember Jurado, this focus on the effectiveness of TLS overall is part of the TLS working group's efforts, which has reported back to the council, to the committee, and I hope can report to this full council as well. But colleagues, the original recommendations included instructions to find additional funding to fill gaps for these beds, but those gaps assume that we would be keeping our entire universe of beds intact that we are investing in right now for the duration of the settlement. It was missing crucial information about the cost per bed across the entire system, which we asked for and so far have received in part, but we need the rest of the information and need time to analyze that information, including our newly available information about performance and outcomes across interventions. If we fund the beds, are they full? Are people returning to homelessness or staying housed? That analysis needs to be done to ensure that we are spending our money wisely and keeping as many people housed as possible, especially at a time when we're seeing cuts at the state level and at the federal level that will impact us across our entire system. We cannot make recommendations about funding without doing this analysis and responding to full council about what that analysis means for how our shelter bed system operates today. Please note that I've also submitted a letter to the county, which is undertaking a similar assessment in Council 525-002-S8, asking them to do the same thing, because right now they are proposing to make cuts without any data about outcomes or performance of their interventions, nor without any information about costs. To cut these beds without asking these questions would be a disservice to our housed and unhoused residents alike. So colleagues, I hope that you join me in supporting these altered recommendations and in ensuring that we have an analysis of our entire bed inventory that meets this moment. Thank you.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you. And I just wanted to chime in on the TLS situation, because what we do have is a dynamic where it's been reported some of the challenges with LASA and how they have mismanaged the TLS dollars in implementing this. It is an important method to help ensure that we can accelerate, and it's actually demonstrated its ability to help facilitate more individuals getting into a permanent solution. So we know it's functionally, it works. However, it could be better when we have a trusted partner that could help to administer it in such a manner that we could actually trust that our dollars are being used in a prudent fashion. That being said, as we look ahead to the use of the TLS program to help fulfill our obligations, not just with respect to the Alliance agreement, but more so as a cost-effective way to us ensure that we can house more people quickly and more successfully. I want to make sure that we flag something that we haven't really addressed, is that we have continued to see an increase among families that are falling into homelessness. And one of the issues that TLS has, or most of our efforts have really focused on, have been on the single individual solutions, which I understand that works for the numbers. But in terms of broadening our impact with more families that are falling into homelessness, we can actually get more bang for our buck when we talk about TLS being applied for families and making sure that we stretch our dollars. Because so many of the programs and so many of the housing solutions that are being developed and are in the pipeline are addressing single individuals. But it absolutely misses the mark on addressing the more growing and chronic problem that we're facing in this city, and that is more families that are falling into homelessness as well. So for the families, the students, I know in my district, so many young people that have, at school, have had to self-identify and let the schools know that they're falling into homelessness. We have an obligation to have comprehensive conversations about the solutions that we're deploying and making sure that we have external partners that are actually effective and transparent about the use of our taxpayer dollars in helping to fulfill these goals. So I look forward to the continued work on this and making sure that we address it in a timely and expedited fashion. And again, I'm happy to see that we're finally making some progress in addressing what is an actual cost-effective solution with taxpayer dollars and not squandering it on programs that frankly are upwards of $100,000 for a single individual annually. Thank you.
Mr. Blumenfield.
Great, thank you. I just want to echo what all of my colleagues have said on this and emphasize that this is sort of a floor, not a ceiling. This is getting this bed plan together, but we have the ability to revisit it. In terms of families, I think that's really important. And the other aspect of that, just when you were talking, is that shared housing can be part of this too. If TLS is flexible, that's one of the most cost-effective ways that we've been able to get people off the streets. And if we use TLS properly, we could actually extend the time of TLS using shared housing and other creative solutions. So my hope is that this conversation will continue and we will come up with creative solutions that help our families, that promote shared housing, and at the end of the day that we can again revisit this as we narrow in on other solutions. So thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, no other speakers. Let's open the roll on this item. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right, what's next?
Mr. President, the council may now consider item 5, called special by Councilmember Yaroslavsky, for which amending motion 5A, Yaroslavsky Park, has been introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
All right, comments, Councilmember Yaroslavsky? Okay.
Yeah, so we waive, oh, no,
No,
I don't need to say
okay,
anything.
all right. Hearing no comments, seeing no comments, let's open the roll on this item. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right, what's next?
The council may now consider item 28, called special by Councilmember Park, for which amending motion 28A, Park Rodriguez, has been introduced, submitted, and circulated and posted on the bulletin board.
All right, let's open the roll on this item. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right, what's next?
The council may now consider item 33, called special by Councilmember Hutt, for which amending motion 33A, Hutt Jurado, has been introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
All right, let's open the roll on this item. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right, what's next?
The council may now consider item 36, called special by Councilmember Jurado, for which amending motion 36A, Jurado Soto Martinez, has been introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board.
All right, let's open the roll on this item. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right, what's next?
The council may now consider item 10, called special by Councilmember Price for recusal and by Councilmember Rodriguez for a separate vote.
All right, Councilmember Price is recusing, and we're looking for Councilmember Rodriguez. All right, there she is. All right, let's open the roll on this item. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes, 1 no.
All right, what's next?
The council may now consider item 45, called special by Councilmember Price for recusal.
All right, Mr. Price is recused. Councilmember Jurado, do you have a comment on this?
Can we, well, after we vote, can we send it forthwith?
After this vote? Okay,
Yeah.
keep
Thank you.
standing, we'll do that. Let's open the roll on this item, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Mr.
All right.
President, there is a request to send item 45 urgent forthwith, for which a separate vote is required.
All right, let's open the roll on urgent forthwith, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, what's next? I think Mr. Price can return.
Council has motions for posting and referral.
They're posted and refers. Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can I ask that item 46 go forthwith, please?
All right, without objection, that'll be the order.
And for the record, the ordinance for item 46 is held over to October 31st, 2025.
All right. We have motions that have been posted and referred. Announcements, members, any announcements? Councilmember Padilla?
Council colleagues, I would like to take a moment today to recognize a very important community figure from the Valley, Mary Rosas. Can we give her a round of applause? Mary has recently announced her very well-deserved retirement, and I would like to highlight the impact of her career. She made the decision to retire after 31 years in community and government affairs. Her story is similar to many of those who grew up in the Valley. She was raised in the San Fernando Valley by non-English speaking parents who worked tirelessly to provide for 7 children. Mary has never forgotten where she comes from. Over 3 decades, she built a career at the intersection of community health and public service, beginning in Contra Costa County, supporting Latino leaders while working with Barbara Lee and serving with Kaiser Permanente in Northern California. She pioneered the first advocacy role focus on the Latino community at Eli Lilly, covering California, Hawaii, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. As a gubernatorial appointee, Mary served as deputy director at the California Department of Consumer Affairs, where she launched a fraud prevention initiative that partnered with cities and community leaders. She led a statewide team of more than 120 Californians to protect our senior and residents with limited English proficiency, delivering real tools and trusted information to people who need it most. Mary's service has always extended beyond her day job, and I think those of us who know her well know that very well. She has served as a commissioner for the LA County Department of Public Social Services and on the board of directors for Visión y Compromiso, one of my favorite organizations, the masterminds behind the Promotora model. And most recently, she deserved an appointment under Mayor Bass, and she now leads as board president of the new Academy of Arts and Science. A round of applause for that, too. So, throughout her career, Mary built stronger bridges between low-income neighborhoods and the institutions that serve them. For more culturally sensitive outreach that meets families where they are, to better consumer protection education for our seniors and immigrant communities, and a stronger pipeline of students and parents connected through schools. Mary, your leadership turned advocacy into outcomes for the Valley and beyond. So on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, we thank you for the 3 decades of service. Congratulations on your well-earned retirement. And also, I want to personally thank you for all of your support in my career and everything that I've seen you do to create more leaders in your work with Latinas Lead. And thank you to the friends from the Latinas Lead network that are here to support you in this next step. But just know that it's a big deal for Los Angeles, a big deal for you, but it's also very important to me. So thank you for everything. Thank you.
Councilmember Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Councilmember Padilla. Mary, just want to say congratulations on your retirement. If you've been to any event in the Valley over the last couple of decades, we saw your bright smiling face there, and you've been so involved in so many different ways. And I know even though you are retiring, you will stay very active in the CD12 community. I know you live in Granada Hills, and just want to say congratulations. It's well earned, and I look forward to your next adventure and whatever we can do together in Council District 12.
Councilmember McCosker.
Thank you so much, Councilmember, for bringing Mary in. On the other side of the city, I want to thank you for your great work. We have a store in Watts that is not just a great store in Freedom Plaza, but it's also a training center. And so we have a number of our youth coming through and learning to be baristas, and also has a community room, which I appreciate. But the story that you'll remember is early on, I said, you're not opening another Starbucks in San Pedro until you open one in Wilmington. And I thought I was going to have a fight, and she was like, sure, we got that, we got you. And so that store in Wilmington is just about ready to open. So thank you so much for your commitment to all of our communities.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you, Imelda, for bringing in our dear friend, Mary. I know we got to celebrate your retirement a few weeks ago, but you are someone, when I think about the Latinas that have broken into the corporate sector in high-profile roles, You're among those trailblazers in the history of our community, and you make us all proud. From your days with Barbara Lee to coming down here in your hometown and helping to not just Starbucks, all of the work that you've done over the course of your corporate life, but more importantly, everything you've done in your civic life. From our work together on Latinas Lead California and its preceding Hope Pack, you have been among the individuals that put your money and your time where your mouth is, where you actually showed up for so many of us. And you have been an incredible role model in nurturing so many other young female professionals into helping to ascend in their professional career. So on behalf of, I'm privileged and proud to call you a friend and have known you for, I think 20-something years, and really grateful for you and very excited about your retirement and what good trouble you might get in during this time. And I will be right there with you every step of the way. God bless you. I love you, and congratulations.
And thank you so much, Councilmember Conskerly, Councilmember Rodriguez, and thank you, Councilmember Padilla, for making sure we give this retirement the recommendation it deserves. This is the kind of individual, this is the kind of angels that makes this a city of angels. It's, in between the valley and the harbor is South LA, and your fingerprints are all over all kinds of good work in that district. And I'm sitting here in this chamber and in this chair partly because you saw young leaders, young black and brown leaders at the Community Coalition, and you said, let me help you guys figure this out. And not just us, but so many other places around South LA and around the city of Los Angeles. So thank you for everything you have done. The city is so grateful, and we congratulate you on your retirement. All right, any other announcements, members? All right.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Please be advised that amending motion 33B, Harris Dawson Hernandez, has just been introduced, circulated, and posted on the bulletin board. Therefore, council would have to reconsider item 33.
All right, open the roll for reconsideration. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right.
And for the record, sir, amending motion 33B, Harris Dawson Hernandez, and amending motion 33A, Jurado, have been introduced for this item.
All right, let's open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
And for the record, item 33 is amended by amending motions 33A and 33B.
All right. What's next?
There is a request to send item 43 forthwith.
Without objection. What's next?
The council may now proceed to adjourning motions.
All right. I'll ask everybody in the chambers for adjourning motion to rise for adjourning motions. I'm going to go to you last. All right. Adjourning motions to my left. Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, today I respectfully ask that we adjourn in the memory of Reverend Barco Oshana Betawood, a man whose life was defined by faith, service, and devotion to both his family and his community. Reverend Betawood was born on July 1st, 1947, and entered eternal rest on September 20th, 2025. For more than 60 years, he faithfully served the Holy Apostolic Catholic Assyrian Church of the East. And through his ministry, he embodied humility, devotion, and an unwavering commitment to his church and his community. As proud Assyrians, when he and his wife first immigrated to the United States nearly 6 decades ago, upon their arrival, their greatest priority was to become United States citizens, an achievement they pursued immediately and with pride. Reverend Betawood cherished this country and all that it represents, embracing the values of freedom, opportunity, and community while honoring the rich traditions of his Assyrian heritage. He is survived by his beloved wife, his 2 daughters, and 3 cherished granddaughters whose lives he profoundly touched with his love, guidance, and faith. His first daughter, Natalie Kuda, a member of the executive board of the Granada Hills Chamber of Commerce, is a dedicated community leader known throughout Granada Hills and the San Fernando Valley as the community connector. She continues her father's legacy of service and devotion to others, a reflection of the values he instilled in his family. Reverend Bedaoud will be remembered as a devoted husband, father, and grandfather, as well as the faithful servant of God and a proud American citizen. His life and legacy will continue to inspire those blessed to have known him, and his impact on his family, church, and the community will endure for generations to come. May we honor the memory of Reverend Barco Oshana Bedaoud, and may he rest in peace.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lee. Any other adjourning motions on my left? My right? All right. Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Thank you, Council President. Colleagues, I rise today to adjourn in memory of Umar Hakim Day, who passed on September 12th, 2025. Umar was a deeply respected Angelino whose life was defined by service, faith, and an unwavering belief in the power of people to change their communities for the better. Umar grew up in Compton, embraced Islam in 1998, and from that moment lived his faith through action. He gave his life and energy to uplifting youth, unhoused residents, and working across cultures and religions to bring people together. He founded the Encourage Foundation, launched the African American Muslim Insight Council, and served as board chair for LA Voice, where he worked alongside a multiracial, multi-faith coalition, many of whom are here today joining us. Thank you for being here. That was dedicated to building people power for equity and inclusion in the city. He was a man of peace, but more specifically, a man at peace with himself. So patience and persistence for the work he believed in came readily to him. For many years, he worked to create a human security resolution for Los Angeles. In 2024, working with Aziza Hassan, the Civil Rights Department, and my office, we passed the resolution affirming 4 freedoms for all Angelinos in this chamber: freedom from fear, freedom from want, freedom of expression, and freedom of worship. Those of us who had the privilege of working with Umar admired his humility, his compassion, and his clarity of vision. Today, many of his friends, colleagues, and family are here to honor his memory. I am particularly glad we are joined by his neighbor, Aunt Jan, his wife, Saida, and his son, Imad, so they can see how much the city of Los Angeles valued their husband and father. I hope all of us can follow in Umar's footsteps to work with patience, persistence, and peace to help make our city and world a better place. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, peace. I'd now like to turn it over to my colleague and friend, Councilwoman Rahman, who would also like to say a few words.
Thank you, Councilmember Yaroslavsky, for leading this adjournment, and thank you to so many of you who I've worked with and had the pleasure of getting to know over these last 5 years for being here today. I'm really honored to join this adjournment for a man I respected so deeply, and seeing so many people here is a testament to the work that he did in Los Angeles and to the legacy that he leaves. To know Omar was to know that you were cared for, that you were listened to, that you were supported. He had your back. In a single day, you could see him hosting an interfaith breakfast in the morning, right here at City Hall, handing out meals on Skid Row at lunch, delivering a rousing sermon in the afternoon, marching against oppression in the evening, all in one day. He was a noteworthy champion, not just for religious rights, but for criminal justice reform, immigrant rights, true interfaith dialogue, as well as affordable housing. Among his many lasting legacies, he was also the catalyst behind Humanitarian Day, one of the nation's largest Muslim-led charity efforts during the holy month of Ramadan that provides food and supplies to the unhoused. And through his work at Encourage, LA Voice, and elsewhere, he inspired younger generations to step into their power and purpose, for which I'm very grateful. I also just wanted to say that I had the privilege of getting to know Umar at a time of rising anti-Muslim rhetoric and at a complex moment in interfaith solidarity, not just in Los Angeles, but across the entire world. And his approach and mentorship through that moment was one of a person who was rooted in empathy and thoughtfulness and warm-heartedness and generosity, and I learned from him. I learned from his approach, and I'm so grateful. Just like many of you, I was shocked to hear of his passing, and we wish him an easy journey and transition. May he rest in power And to his family and friends and community who are here, we grieve with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
I'm going to turn it over to you in just a second. So on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, I move, colleagues, that we adjourn in celebration of Umar's life with gratitude for his contributions and with a commitment to carry forward the work he championed, building a Los Angeles rooted in dignity, justice, and compassion.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Yaroslavsky, and thank you, Councilmember Rahman, and to the family and many of you who we see in the streets and in our communities when we have tough times, when we have celebrations. It is with deep sadness that we adjourn in the memory of Reverend Umar today. I watched him join the organization when it had, I think, 5 staff members. It grew to 19. It grew the network of churches and places of worship around the county, including a very tough customer. My own mother's home church got organized during that time, which is, quite a feat that should not go unrecognized. But the importance of relationships with everybody and making sure everybody counts as a human, and no room for this idea that some humans count less than others, or some humans aren't worthy of a conversation, or some humans aren't worthy of engagement, really led by example in a way that all Angelenos can and should embrace. And so we thank you for the life of service, and again, very, very sadly adjourn in his memory. The city is grateful. Thank you all so much. All right. Any other adjourning motions? All right. Oh, Councilmember Park.
Thank you, Council President, colleagues. It is with deep sadness and profound respect that I ask we adjourn today in memory of Eric Dugdale Jr. We're joined by his family and friends as we honor his life and legacy. Eric Dugdale, born April 24th, 1951, passed away August 27th after a 3-month bout with pneumonia. He was 74. He was the son of Charlotte Dugdale Self and Eric Dugdale Sr., a builder from England who came from Canada to build homes in the Palisades. Eric's mother, Charlotte, fled from Nazi Germany to England, where she met Dugdale Sr., and the two eventually settled in Topanga Canyon. They had 2 children, Eric and Annette. Eric attended Topanga Elementary, then Taft High School, Pierce Junior College, and then UC Santa Barbara, where he studied English, history, and theater. After graduation, Eric went on to work for Coldwell Banker as a real estate agent in the San Fernando Valley, and later in Marina del Rey. It was there that he bought a 25-foot boat, and in 1998, he became a member of the Pacific Mariners Club. He also worked for his father's construction company. That office was located above the now Pearl Dragon. And in addition to building homes, the company also built establishments, such as the King's Head Pub in Santa Monica. Eric's parents divorced in the 1970s, and his mom bought a house on Hartzell Street. His mom remarried and passed away in 2019 on August 27th, the same day as Eric. Eric was a member of the Pacific Palisades Historical Society, serving as president for more than a decade. On his passing, the society reflected, if you wanted to know what living in the Palisades was like from the late 1950s forward, Eric was your go-to resource for tales informed by his vivid recollection. He had also done extensive research on the Palisades Topanga region's earlier history, including the role of indigenous peoples. He also represented the society on the Pacific Palisades Community Council. Ever a fixture on the alphabet streets or stopping for his morning coffee at the Starbucks on the business block, Eric was among the thousands of Palisadians who lost their homes on January 7th. Eric is predeceased by his parents. He's survived by his sister, Annette, and 2 nephews, James and Chris. 2 memorials were planned. The first was at the Pacific Mariners Club in Marina del Rey on September 14th. The second is being arranged by the family and the Palisades and Topanga Historical Societies. And in lieu of flowers, the family asks that people donate to the Pacific Palisades Historical Society in Eric's name. May he rest in peace.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Park, and thank you all for joining us, and thank you for the gift. All right, seeing no other adjourning motions, we are adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody.
But I proudly stand here today as a first-generation American of Mexican descent to say we will continue to resist. We will continue to persist. And I want to thank all of my colleagues, all of the activists, all of the artists that continue to uplift and tell our stories. We will not be erased. We will not be silenced. And we will continue to fight on for our community to ensure that civil rights, that human rights are what this land will continue to uphold. And here in the city of Los Angeles, we will continue to uphold that. And I'm grateful to work alongside a group of leaders that are equally engaged in helping to sustain that voice for our community. To every immigrant community, this is